Hey there, I'm a traditional country singer. I'm on a mission to bring true country music back in style.
My life is just another country song, another somebody done somebody wrong. Well, you know why I'm singing the blues. If you walked a mile in my shoes, whoa, poor, pitiful me. I wish it was only make believe. So turn it up when you turn it on. My life is just another country song.
I don't think you ever thought about ever having original music before the fans started asking you for original music, did you?
No, I literally thought I would just continue to entertain with karaoke's.
And all these people had kept asking for, will you make me a CD? We were getting hundreds and hundreds of comments. Please make me a CD. Do you have any originals? Can you sing an original? And I've just got out the laptop and started Googling, how do you have an original song if you don't know how to write music? And that's a weird thing to Google, and then I found this website where you can license songs from songwriters, and they have all the demos on there and everything. And so I was just sitting there and I was going through and I was listening to them, and there was a lot of good ones on there, and I was like, wow, you can just pay for somebody else's song? That's kind of cool. So I think that's how Made For Me started.
When Matt and Heather first came to the house and brought me my CD and he handed it to me, I had tears of joy in my heart. I was so happy and excited that I actually got one, and that it was my son, and that I could just hold it and know that he has grown into what this man is today.
When I got home that day and she's like, hey, there's this website that you can license songs and you can put them out under your name. And I remember thinking, why would I want to do that? I don't really understand why I would want to do that. And then as our conversation kept going, she's like, your fans are asking for CDs and things, and rather than just give them a karaoke, why don't you try to do some of your own stuff? And I thought to myself, maybe that would be fun. I don't know. Maybe it would be cool. So I just started listening to some of the demos that were on there for licensing. All but one actually came from that website, and I was able to put it together, in my opinion, a phenomenal little EP. For me, it is a completely different it's a completely different experience. With me always being a karaoke singer, I always wanted to sound like that person. And so having my own songs, I could literally put my voice, what I feel like I sound like. The first time I sang one of them, I was like, yep, that's what I want to do. I don't want to sing karaoke's anymore. I just want to do this. And she's like, whoa, cowboy, you got to slow down. We can't just not do karaoke's. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Well, I think for me, and this is probably true for a lot of artists, I would imagine, but you can hear a lot of the influences that I have. Alan Jackson, George Strait, Randy Travis, Travis Tritt. You hear a lot of their nuances, the way they may phrase a word or something like that. But I think for me, the most part was just singing in what I feel like is my normal voice. I guess it was not difficult, but it was strange. It was strange to hear me singing a song for the first time, because I never really sang like myself. I always sang like the artist I was covering the karaoke for, because I just feel like that's the right thing to do. I think that being a traditional country singer and being a traditionalist at heart is just, I think that there's something to be said about, music that has meaning, and the meaning has to be more than I jumped in my truck, grabbed a beer, and went down to the river. Yeah, that's all country stuff per se, right? That's all. Hitting a gravel road, going down to fish is country. But there's not a statement to be made there. There's no feeling in the song. And I think traditional country music, most of it, you can make an emotional attachment with. It'll reach in, it'll grab your heart, and it'll make you cry. And you know, that traditional sound can also make you want to get up and dance and have a party. And I think that keeping it traditional just makes sense for me, just because that's the way I sing. I'm an emotional singer, and if I can't feel the music, I can't sing. If I can't feel the words, I can't sing it. If I can't feel the music, I can't sing it. And I think so. That's the reason why I want to say traditional, is because that steel guitar being absent in most of the music nowadays is a tragedy. It is that steel guitar and the fiddles in the traditional songs. Those are the things. Those little nuances in those songs is what brings a song together and really makes somebody go, "Whoa, hang on a second. There's something here that I need to listen to," because you know it's just phenomenal. So
I think it's awesome that you pay homage to some of these great artists that aren't played on the radio anymore, because they paved the way for the people that are on the radio. And some of these A-lister, and I say that with quotation marks, artists who are really big on the radio right now don't have respect for those guys. And I think that's really sad, because I mean, as coming from someone not in the music world, but maybe from the writer's world, you would never write something that won a Pulitzer Prize and then say, but you know what, I'm so much better than Shakespeare. Like, that just doesn't happen. So I can't wrap my mind around why they do that in the music world.
yeah.
And I don't think that, I think that's a new thing. I don't think that's happened before in history.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that has to do with the arrogance of the generation of guys who are singing. I think that people see arrogance as confidence, unfortunately, nowadays. And so I think a lot of these guys are so arrogant and so self-centered that they think they're just that good, and they really don't hold a candle to the people who paved the way for them to be there. And then the songs that they put out have no meaning. I think that's a tragedy to country music, and you know, it's just not fair. In my opinion, for country music fans like myself and like everybody else that I know, it's just not fair for us to have to listen to that type of music. So, well, I think for me, becoming an artist instead of a karaoke singer, it's still kind of mind-boggling to me that I can now say I'm a recorded artist, because I never really, you know, I didn't think about that kind of stuff years ago, and I've always been a great karaoke singer. But I think as we've done the live shows and as I've continued to sing more and more songs, I think and as fans were asking for originals, I think I'm more passionate now than I was even about karaoke, because for me, there's a lot of songs in karaoke that I won't sing because I can't. It's just like anything else. If I can't feel the music, I can't sing it. But for me, becoming an artist and singing original songs that maybe I've licensed from a demo, or even the one that I wrote myself, it's a completely different feeling, and I think being able to pour my heart into those types of songs, I think it has a stronger meaning than just singing karaoke at this point. The fans just kept messaging me, asking me, you know, do you play an instrument? Do you play the guitar? Anything like that? And I'd picked up a guitar when I was younger, but I'd never been able to actually play a guitar. When I would say no, I don't, and everybody was like, well, we think you'd be phenomenal at it. Obviously, you'd be great at it. And so just that support and that thought process, I went and picked one up. And you know, I think for me, learning how to play the guitar wasn't necessarily a necessity for me. It wasn't it wasn't like I felt like I needed to be able to do this, to be an artist. But it definitely, I can tell you, it definitely came in handy when I wrote my first song, because I could play the melody that I wanted to put with the song, and then it helped the words flow faster. I mean, so one of the first songs that I had learned how to play, or that I thought I knew how to play, there was actually just a simple melody. It was, and I learned that. That was the very first melody that I learned how to play on here, because I knew a few simple chords that my dad had taught me, but nothing major. And then my brother came over and showed me a couple other ones, and so I was just sitting there, and I walked outside, and Mama V was sitting outside, and I went and sat down with my guitar out beside her, and started playing this, and just trying to figure out what I was doing, and she just started singing. In the twilight glow I see her, and I was like, oh my God, that's why I know that song. That's one of my favorite Willie Nelson songs. Holy cow, I can't believe I just played a Willie Nelson song. And I was so proud of being able to do that one little thing with this guitar that I don't know. I think that was the moment where I said, you know what, if I can do it with that one, there's bound to be other songs I can play. And so I just started, listening to the songs and running songs back through my head and just singing them and just trying to learn which chords they were. And I think learning the guitar for me has been invaluable, because I definitely don't think I could have wrote my first song without the melody. And expressing that in words to another, like I could have had my brother come over, and we probably could have sat there and he could have played, but to really explain the melody that was going on in my head to him, and him actually play it out, I'm not so sure that would have worked. I'm not convinced that would work in any situation like that. I don't know yet. I mean, I've never wrote a song and not put the melody myself, so I don't know if that happens or not. But I think that just being able to play this thing it's just been, it's a great feeling for me when I get off work. If I've had a bad day or a rough day at work, going home and picking this thing up and just playing some music, and having Heather sit there and listen to me and just sitting there just strumming along, it just makes it just makes the world melt away. And it's a really cool feeling to be able to play even the few songs that I know how to play. I may play the same ones over and over again. She has to listen to the same songs over and over again, but every now and then I'll change it up and play a chorus or something of a song that I hadn't never done. But I just think it's just amazing to me that I can actually do what I can with this thing.
That's my favorite time of the day. Every day when Patsy comes out and you start playing something. And I know the very first time I heard you play guitar, we were at my mom's house, and my mom has one of those Keith Urban teaching guitar things.
Yep.
And you got it out, and you were like trying to tune it for her, and then me and my mom were just sitting there talking, and he had been just like kind of strumming on the thing. This was before he ever even bought Patsy, and he was just kind of strumming on it, and all of a sudden he starts playing The Last Kiss. It sounded like The Last Kiss, and I was like, whoa, that sounds like The Last Kiss. And you're like, that's what it's supposed to sound like. And I think that was the first moment I thought, you might can play guitar by ear. That's kind of cool. But then after you played Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, you started just doing that with all kinds of songs. And he would come in, I'd wake up one morning, he'd sit down and he'd say, watch this. And I would just be like, it's still amazing to me when you can play a song that...
Believe me, it's not just you. It amazes me that I can play them too. I mean, when I learn how to play a new song, I'm just like, oh my God, I can actually play that song now.
But what's the coolest thing is that there's songs like that you would never be able to sing if you were singing karaoke, like female songs and stuff, because the key is so high and out of your range, and it's hard for you. But you can sing it because you can play it in whatever key you want on the guitar, and that's really cool to watch.
You don't love me, it's plain. I should know I'll never wear your ring, and I should hate you the whole night through, and still that brings me to love about you.
Yeah, I love that. I do actually really love that. And you know, the thing is that it's the chords. You can play the same chords and not be in the same key as a specific singer. So, like Patsy Cline, I mean, she's a really high key singer, but I can drop her G chord down into really low, where I can sing the same kind of stuff that she sung. And I don't know, it's an amazing feeling to be able to do that. Because I mean, my dad used to do that for me. He'd drop a song down a key or two, and it just made all the difference. So I knew if I ever could get to know how to do that, or it would open up my world to being able to play a bunch of different types of songs.
I think you're so protective over that guitar, though. Like, seriously. Won't let me touch it, won't let me carry it.
You know,
I feel a little jealous over her sometimes.
I am kind of protective. I don't know. I think that I think part of that is just that I want to make sure that I take good care of it. It's not necessarily so much of the name on here. I mean, I named it Patsy after my favorite singer, but it's not necessarily that. It's just I just feel like this is like a tool for me now. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but I used to be, and I still am really. I'm kind of a handyman maintenance guy. I can fix just about it. I could probably build a house from ground up. I've got probably every tool there is, but I just feel like this is one of those types of things where I just want to make sure that it stays almost perfect, because this is how I feel like this one piece of equipment. I mean, obviously, I can write songs with it. I don't want it to have to go to the doctor and be fixed for any reason. And I don't know how to fix that, so I'd have to take it to somebody. But and then I think there's just something special about your first guitar that you purchase. This is the first one I ever purchased, and it wasn't an expensive guitar. It's not an expensive guitar. It's just, it's I wouldn't even say it's a mid-range price guitar. It's a real cheap guitar. It's not anything fancy. It's just, but I love it. I mean, I love the mahogany on it. I loved, as soon as I seen this guitar, this was the one I wanted, and it's been great to have this guitar to learn on.
Tony is like the dad I never had.
Yeah, Tony's awesome, man. He really is.
If I could have handpicked a dad, I would have wanted him to be Tony Ray Jones. Also, like, you just know everybody when you're there. I mean, I've never met a rude person in Nashville, ever.
While it might be a touristy place, it's also a place full of culture.
Right, yeah.
And, as I get older, culture means a lot to me.
I wish it was all that make believe. So turn it up when you turn it on. My life is just another country song. So turn it up when you turn it on. My life is just another country song.